Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan, responded to yet another Why I'm No Longer Vegan video. And as always, I'll be looking to see if there's some absolutely compelling reason that forced them to not be vegan, because you always hear that from anti-vegans, not everyone could be vegan, blah blah blah. So we'll see if there was some compelling reason why this person could no longer be vegan. And this person has a name. Her name is Maya Henry. I've never heard of her channel before, but I actually kind of relate to some of the stuff she's saying. Like me, she's been on YouTube a long time, like 10 years, and kind of wondering how to continue having a relationship with followers on social media. So I can relate to some of the stuff she's talking about, but I could not relate to her reasons for no longer being vegan, except for one, as we'll see. I'll discuss that in a moment. But anyway, let's jump right in.
I'm sick of labels. It's 2023, and we've all kind of, put ourselves into these restrictive boxes, myself the most. And I feel like I worked myself into a hole in life where I was just trying to people please.
Well, as a creative type, yeah, I can fully understand not wanting to be put in a box, being forced to make one kind of musical genre for the rest of your life or anything like that. I fully get it. But as far as being called vegan, I don't feel personally that puts me in a box. It just describes my personal ethics, as we'll get to in a moment.
So I have several reasons why I'm no longer vegan. First and foremost, I'm just enjoying regular food again. I'm eating dairy products, I'm eating meat, and I'm like, how have I not done this for over 10 years? I get the empathetic to animals approach. However, I realized, I really honor human history. I honor, the way that we have kind of cultivated land and domestic farming all the way dating back to farmers in the Mesopotamian era. It just goes back far and far and far.
Well, not to make fun of Maya or anything, but that's kind of a new argument. I don't want to be vegan, or I can't be vegan because I honor ancient farming, ancient Mesopotamian farming, which is a really bizarre way to put it. I mean, if you don't want to be vegan, just come out and say it, but don't say it because of Mesopotamian farming, though. I mean, if we go back to ancient Mesopotamia, we see they were champions, they were pioneers of growing all sorts of various plant foods, stuff that vegans eat.
And so I just feel like there's a part of our humanity and our history that is just innate when it comes to what we eat and how we produce food.
Yes, indeed. Throughout the long history of human agriculture, plant agriculture, humans have produced a lot of plants. So it would be completely honoring our history by eating the many plants that humans have cultivated through the millennia.
I don't necessarily agree with factory farming. Of course I don't. I don't agree with, the abuses towards animals.
All right, there's some mention of vegan ethics there. Let's take a look at a definition of veganism, one that goes back to the 1940s. It's a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. So if a person is indeed against animal abuse, animal cruelty and exploitation, and does something about that, meaning willingly chooses not to consume animal products, that's what veganism is.
That being said, there's 1,000,001 abuses happening right now as you're watching this video, and we cannot save everything all at once. And so I'm a pick and choose your battles kind of girl.
All right, so for longtime followers, you're probably aware that's one of the many logical fallacies that you hear people often use as to why they can't be vegan, and in this case, why someone could no longer be vegan. It goes by two names: the appeal to futility fallacy, it's futile, why even bother, because you can't stop all suffering. The more formal name, because I studied logic in college, is the nirvana fallacy, which pretty much means if your proposed solution to a problem, the problem of all these animals being exploited, if your solution isn't perfect, if your solution, veganism, doesn't guarantee that there'll be no other suffering in the world, then why even bother? So yeah, you can see this is something that people rely upon as a defense as to why they don't want to go vegan. Veganism does not demand or require absolute perfection or anything of the sort. It's a choice that you make as an individual person to not participate in animal cruelty.
I'm all for people being vegan and for sticking it out, but I'm not all for people telling other people what to do, and also the moral superiority that comes with a lot of vegans or veganism as a movement in general. It's I am better than you.
So like I said earlier, yeah, there's some things about what she said that I can actually relate to on a personal level, and I'll agree with her. I'll admit there are plenty of vegans out there who are exactly as she described there. They're very aggressive, and they think they're better than everyone. They think they're better than even other vegans. I like to jokingly refer to them as level 5,000 vegans. And yeah, they're just a-holes. They would be a-holes if they weren't vegan. An a-hole's an a-hole, and no matter what your diet is, not much is going to change that. So my personal advice to Maya is to just block people like that. They have no business being in your life, spreading toxicity and this moral superiority bullcrap. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, just because you and I have encountered many vegan a-holes through our time being vegan, especially on social media, that's not reason to stop being vegan, assuming that you are against animal cruelty and exploitation. Screw the haters.
But I was, on sets doing things like working, and there would just seldom be a vegan option. I think there was like 3 days on set where I was like eating garden salads, and I felt like I was wilting and withering away. In life, you're just going to encounter moments where you will not be able to find vegan options, or the vegan options that you do find are not sustaining.
I have complete sympathy and compassion for you there, Maya, but that's not reason to stop being vegan. If you're truly against animal cruelty and exploitation, and you knew that where you worked at or you went to school didn't have proper food for you, you'd figure something out, right? You could prepare your food before you go. I mean, case in point here, I'm not a fan of Major League Baseball, but I went to see Shohei Ohtani play a couple seasons back. So me and Angie went to Anaheim Stadium, and we thought, hey, we're in Anaheim, California there should be plenty of vegan options. Disneyland's right down the street, has tons of vegan options, tons of vegan restaurants everywhere. No, it was like the 1980s there, just frozen in time. The best we could find was like a pretzel and Cracker Jacks. So we got by. Didn't have to we're gonna perish over our 4 hours there, we must eat hot dogs or something like that. So guess what we learned? So when we went back next season to watch another Angels game, this time we were prepared and brought some food with us, knowing that there wouldn't be anything beyond pretzels and Cracker Jacks there.
And so I just feel like having the flexibility to do whatever I want now, eat whatever I want, and just live life is so much healthier than literally restricting my food intake.
Well, veganism shouldn't be about restricting your food intake. It's not a restrictive way of eating, other than not eating a few animal products. Like what do people eat? Meat, dairy, eggs, fish, stuff like that. It's not a restrictive diet. There's thousands of edible plants out there, and even just like going to regular fast food places these days, like say Taco Bell, Chipotle, you can find vegan options. You don't have to have vegan restaurants proper. And I just want to make it clear here, I'm not one here to be one of these vegan a-holes or anything. I'm just giving you my reaction as a long-time vegan since 2010, and I'm trying to say this as politely as possible. If you're watching I'm not here to call you out. What I'm hearing is just you just don't want to be vegan anymore, and that's fine. Just make that what you just said right here a second ago your main thing. You just find it much more pleasurable in life to go out with friends and eat whatever they're eating, and just don't. You're really, maybe you were vegan before, you cared about animal cruelty and exploitation, and you no longer do. I personally don't know how I'd ever flip that switch in my mind, but just say you just didn't want to be vegan, and we don't have to talk about Mesopotamia.
I feel like I originally went vegan for 2 reasons. For the ethics, because I was vegetarian for many, many years prior to that, and I was like, why am I vegetarian for ethics and not vegan? And so I was like, I want to lose some weight, and I also want to be nicer to the environment and to the animals. But that being said, now I look back and I'm like, okay, but why is all the onus on me to look out for the environment and the animals? You know what I mean? That should be a systemic thing that's changed, not the individual.
If anyone knows what she's talking about, please comment down below here. How can there be some kind of systemic change, like some kind of policy that world leaders and governments enact so that we're not slaughtering 80 billion animals a year? We go vegan because we know all that animal cruelty and abuse is wrong, and we want to try to do something about that. And yeah, individually, we're all just one person, but collectively it adds up, and the more people that see that animal cruelty and exploitation are wrong, fewer and fewer animals will be bred into existence solely for the purpose of exploiting and slaughtering them. So that's not really, again, I'm just hearing an excuse. I just say that's not really a good excuse. It's just an excuse saying, going vegan is kind of pointless because I shouldn't be the one responsible. The world leader should be. Nah, it doesn't work like that.
But the reality is that you harm animals inadvertently every every single damn day. Like, it's just a part of our society, you know? Like, you're shopping at the same store to buy your vegan thing that is also owned by a company that owns a slaughterhouse. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many degrees of separation that happen, but it's all under the same umbrella.
Once again, let's look at the definition of veganism and see if there's any mandate how we have to be these absolute perfect moral beings, such that there's absolutely no cruelty or exploitation of any living thing. And if so, veganism is null and void. No, it doesn't say anything like that. It says as far as possible and practicable. So let's apply that to her example here, shopping at a supermarket that also makes money off the selling of animal products. Well, what are you supposed to do as a vegan? Find like a vegan market? I know there's a few, but I don't really have any near me, so I still need to buy food. So when I go to the supermarket, instead of saying, hey, you know what? This market sells meat and they're making money off meat, I might as well support that and buy the meat too. No, that makes absolutely no sense. I'm going to vote with my dollars and show the market. Yeah, sell plants, sell vegan stuff.
I still eat some vegan things. Being vegan helped me learn to cook in so many resourceful ways. But let's be honest, we're also all sick of freaking eating just beans, wheat gluten, and nuts. That's basically the foundation of all of our protein. I feel like I tried every single recipe.
Interesting timing. Just a few minutes before starting this live stream, I enjoyed a fine lunch that Angie made out of the Happy Healthy Vegan Cookbook. Speaking of beans, we had the 3-bean vegan chili. I mean, I haven't had that in like months, and I was delighted to eat it again. In fact, like all these recipes in our book here, I mean, these are just good, tasty meals. I'm not sure what she's talking about, like being bored and sick of eating all these delicious plants. But if you want, Maya, I'll send you a copy of our book. I'm absolutely serious. I'll send you a printed copy, an ebook. Well, just in case you were like bored of what you're eating before. This is the way we've been eating for like maybe 5-6 years. It's kind of like a food diary, and I'm far from being sick of it. And if you guys are interested, I'll put a link up there down below. And we're starting a special sale on these for the holidays. So look for a discount on these.
I will also say, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the price of like pre-made vegan food is off the charts expensive. I think that like the supermarkets, they conflate, you know, veganism with wealth and gentrification. So like now the Gardein packs that were once $4.99 are now $7.99. It's insane.
So I'm going to make a call out when a call out's appropriate. And here, this is really unfair and just kind of cherry picking. It's called inflation. It's not just the price of plants that has gotten more expensive over the past few years. The same is true for eggs. Same for beef. Inflation is inflation, and veganism has nothing to do with that.
Like, I'm saving so much money by not being vegan, which I never thought I'd say, but it's the truth.
Just like with buying animal products or plants, it depends on what you're buying. There's ways to make your vegan grocery bill super expensive or super not expensive, and the same if you're not a vegan. So yeah, please don't blame that on veganism. In fact, I personally have found, and many others who I've talked to and left comments on our channel have shared their experiences where they say their grocery bills have decreased significantly since going vegan. I'm sure that they're not buying a bunch of processed stuff, just eating more whole food plants. So anyway, guys, please leave your questions and comments down below, and please be polite. Don't be one of these level 5,000 vegan a-holes that really bother people like me and Maya alike. So comment, hit like, share, become a channel member, and buy the Doesn't Suck Being Vegan shirt. See you guys next time at the live stream in a few minutes.